Hi, welcome to Intuition Loading. If you listen to Tarot and you find yourself getting a little confused, or you don't know if it's you or it's them, or you listen to multiple readers and you heard the same message but under a different zodiac energy, this video is for you. This entire video is how to listen to tarot and especially how to listen to tarot here on this specific channel, which I am sure will help you to listen and to learn and to journey in the tarot land extensively. This video is going to make it all make sense. We're going to talk about tarot, a couple of key terms, energy versus signs, and then the function of this channel, which I'm sure is going to help you go to all the other tarot channels and make it make sense. I'm going to help you listen to this energy with intention, no matter where the message is coming from. First, what is an intuitive reader versus a tarot reader? Well, first you need to know what tarot is. Tarot is just a tool. It's a tool like so many other tools that we use. There are a million different ways to heal and to vibe and to pull energy, read energy. Tarot is simply just one of them. This particular tool, the tarot cards, has picture images that are highly related to key aspects of the human life cycle, as well as times in history that are just universally relatable. So, what's a tarot reader? A tarot reader is very vaguely defined as a person who has studied the books that come with the cards. There are YouTube videos, there are blogs that will educate you on what these specific cards mean and their pictures. It goes over the history and it goes over the symbolism inside. A tarot reader is simply well versed and comprehends these cards, maybe from memory, maybe from experience, maybe they have been doing it for so long that it kind of just comes to them and they're able to put together storylines based on the messages that they see with the card combinations. Often you'll notice that a lot of tarot readers stick to the cards. They don't really look up, they don't really engage in the camera, they don't really show their faces. They simply stick to the cards and the pictures depicted on the cards. That's mostly the extent of their information, or that is the extent of where they feel safe with the messages. And intuitive is different in that the tarot is just a tool. Most intuitives have more than one tool that they can use. They can pull on different gifts and different wisdom and information. You'll see that most intuitives will not rely on the cards. They'll have more of a conversation style delivery. They'll also refer to backgrounds and informations and just pieces of randomness that are relevant and make sense because they're using the tarot as a tool in their arsenal of tools. Often you'll see that they'll rarely use the cards, so they'll use them a little bit, or they'll say something and then the cards will match because they're already picking up on that energy. This tool is just something that they're using for the comfort of their viewers more than likely. What makes a tarot reader an intuitive, or an intuitive a tarot reader? That is going to be based on each person's personal delivery, personal journey. You'll have to pick that up. You'll have to open your own third eye, your own heart chakra to connect and see if you're talking to someone who is simply reading cards, which you can do for yourself, or someone who is endowed with a gift, who lives a lifestyle that nurtures this opening. Now, we can lose our gifts. So it's also highly important that you pay attention to how you're feeling when you're listening to readers and seeing the behaviors and patterns of readers. They can fall from grace as well. This is something you want to pay attention to. If they were to fall from grace and continue to deliver you messages, they could start to give you more toxic energy or toxic deliveries, or they may start reading more darker energy because they're in a dark space themselves. You yourself have to study and understand so that you can follow along. So we discussed that tarot is a tool. A tool for what? Tarot is a tool to be able to decipher, compartmentalize, understand, and recognize energy. Now, by definition, energy is unused potential. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. That's something that is universally agreed upon from science and spirituality. We can agree that energy just simply transfers. So how do you keep up with this? And if it's been going on since the beginning of time, how could you recognize it? Energy is on every nook and cranny of everything that exists and does not exist. So how can we actually become learned in the study of energy? Well, You just answered the question of why spiritual leaders are lifelong students. We could never understand it all. We just don't live along enough. We have to combine our lifetimes in order to get this glimpse of energy. On a large scale, we're simply witnessing pieces of it. So you just answered why we're always learning, always studying, always finding something out, always having an epiphany, especially spiritual guides. When it comes to my explanation and interpretation of tarot and how to listen to it and understand it, it's going to go to those energies. So here's the best that I can do for you at this point. Disclosure and disclaimer. Again, I am a spiritual guide. I am a spiritual practitioner, but I am a lifelong student. As I learn and grow, I promise to update and share this information for as long as I live. However, this is information that is basic fundamentals for my new people. You too will grow and learn, and you'll pick up things from other spiritual guides as I do myself. Feel free to implement that information. Build on that information. Don't limit yourself with what I'm about to say or what they're about to say, because your job is to collect this information, meditate on it, and apply it, plug it in where it makes sense for you, your timeline, and your chain of events as current. So let's go over the basic fundamentals that there are 12 energies. 12 energies. You notice that I didn't use the word signs. I'll explain that in a second. But first, think there are 12 basic energies. Are there more energies? I'm sure. Are there less energies? They may be able to combine into something bigger. And then at that time, it may give off an overall energy. It's called a signature energy. But basically, what you need to know and remember is there are 12 basic energies. Those energies are Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. These energies have different names throughout history. From the Oshuns to the Roman gods to the Hindu and Buddhist principles, these energies show up over and over and over again. I say that to encourage you to connect with these energies in a way that is most comfortable for you. These energies show up differently in different religions by different names, but it's the same consistency of characteristics. Which brings me to my next fundamental. Where does energy come from? Energy comes from the planets. As above, so below. So this energy that has been swimming around, that's always been swimming around, is because these planets and these planetary aspects have been swimming around and occurring time and time again since the beginning of time. So energy is born from the planets. That is where these basic energies come from. These 12 energies come from planets. Aries gets its energy from Mars. Taurus gets its energy from Venus. Gemini gets its energy from Mercury. Cancer gets its energy from the moon. Leo gets its energy from the sun. Virgo gets its energy from Mercury, as does Gemini. Libra gets its energy from Venus, as does Taurus. Scorpio gets its energy from Pluto, though it used to get its energy from Mars. Sagittarius gets its energy from Jupiter, though at one point it got its energy from Neptune. Capricorn gets its energy from Saturn, as does Aquarius, who also gets its energy from Uranus. And Pisces gets its energy from Neptune. I know that was a lot. Thank God it's a video, y'all. So you can rewind it back and you can take notes. But when you're listening for energy, that's where you really need to be listening for the planets. So a lot of these intuitives are not just in tune with the man-made recorded history of these energies. They're in tune with the live, year-to-date energy and aspects of the energy that's feeding off these planets right now. The signs are the most man-made piece of the energy. It's what man took from the planets and said, I can't relate to a big ball of gas or a big ball of ice or a big ball of fire as in energy. I want to personify it. And that is where the signs in all of these religions were born. Something more relative, something more relatable for humans. But at its origin, we're just trying to get closer to the cosmos, which are the planets. So when we talk about the signs, a lot of the time we're talking about this domination of energy when it's closest, when it's most pure. And a lot of times we're talking about the relativity of the location from that energy coming off of that planet into us. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. But most often we talk about a sign in a periodic method from this date to this date. It just transfers, which means that the time never passes. So even after, example, Virgo season, again, a time period, a season, right, from this point to this point is gone. Virgo energy, of course, will linger. How can you recognize an energy after the time has passed? Well, energy has characteristics. We already talked about how energy is originally from different planets, how they contributed this energy to create these different patterns and these different environments, vibes. So it's safe to say, and it's easy to understand, that the energies will take on the characteristics of these planets. My favorite and easiest example for this concept is Mars. Remember, we talked about how Aries is ruled by Mars. Now, Aries is the personified energy of Mars, which means that if Mars was a person, it would be in Aries. But if Aries was a person, it gives its homage to Mars. So if you really want to get to the nitty-gritty of an energy, look at the planet. If you really want to get to the nitty-gritty of a sign, you would have to learn timelines and you would look to a calendar. But does Mars ever stop moving? Does Mars ever stop contributing energy? Exactly. Signs and energies are not the same. So how do you find out what energy you're in? This is very simple as well. There's something called a natal chart. N as in Nancy, A, T as in Tom, A, L as in Louis. Natal chart. It tells you all about your energy. I keep a link to a self-made video on how to get access to a natal chart. Even though you can use any platform, I just want you to know the steps that it takes. It's going to require for you to know the exact time that you were born, because what did we just talk about? The energies keep moving. We need to freeze the energy at the time that you were born. So we need to know where you were in proximity to the stars on that day under the sky and what time it was, so that we can rewind back the planetarium to that day and make the sky stand still and see where the energy was. This is why we're referred to as star seeds, because all of those planets had energy being contributed, some more than others, depending on how close or far they were on the day that you were born. So that means that you are a piece of everything, a bigger piece of some energies than others. But don't you want to know all about the energy that makes the unique you? When you look at that natal chart, you'll be able to see that energy. And then you'll be able to personify that energy and get those characteristics and say, hey, that's me. Everything that you wonder about yourself is accounted for inside of the energy. And you are reflecting the energy of something huge, a planet. This is why you'll hear some people say you're a child of Saturn, a child of Mars, a child of Venus. Once you get your natal chart and you're able to see exactly what energies are pulling your strings, are influencing you, because it's your makeup, that's how you want to listen to tarot. Now, let's talk about those sun, moon, and rising energies. Your sun sign is the easiest thing to come across. It's the sun. It's the biggest star in the sky. You can't miss it. That's how it is with your sun sign. You know what it is. Everyone knows what it is. It's the energy that people can guess based on your characteristics. But it's a mask as well. Often our sun sign is what we hide behind. It's what we show to people because it makes us feel safe. Your moon sign is going to be the things about yourself that you tuck away. You have to really get to know a person consistently to pick up on their consistent energy characteristics because it's the thing that is intimate. Your rising energy is what you're growing to become. Often, this energy doesn't show itself until after the age of 27 through 30 when you have your first Saturn return, the lesson that you learn to be more mature. So up until that point, you'll be operating out of your safe zone until Saturn comes in and pushes you to the next level, which is your rising. The natal chart is a science, so we could go on. And remember, this is about basic fundamentals. So feel free to study more on natal charts. Get a natal chart reading. I do not do those, but there are readers who specifically niche in natal chart readings. You can look them up and find out more about all the other stuff like your south node, north node, all the planets and how they affect you, your midheaven, any karma that you have in your chart, which may hit at your past lives. That's what the natal chart is for. But for now, at least get a natal chart and you should be able to pick out your sun, moon, and rising. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the houses. There are 12 houses. Basically, the way to think about houses is if you were playing a video game and you were building a world, you would need 12 components, 12 energies based off of the planets. And now you have these 12 houses. Guess what? They're all based off of a planet as well. You literally should be listening to tarot with your natal chart. Like, oh, okay, let me go here. Okay, that's this energy. Oh, well, that's not me because my energy is over here. But let me go over to this energy over here. Let me listen to this reading because I might find more there. That's often why you'll hear readers say the quote unquote sign in the first place is to give you a clue, a scavenger hunt of sorts to go find more energy because you're made up of so many different energy and energy combinations. Before we jump into how to use my particular YouTube channel to track this energy and get forecast, I want to talk about the time frame of the readings. A lot of my clients say, when is this going to happen? The way I want you to think about it is an intuitive or a tarot message is coming from the cosmos. So we're going to call Jupiter and say, hey, when is this relationship coming? Jupiter will say, I just sent her husband. It should be there in 2-3 days, 2-3 months, 2-3 years. But it's on the way. We would then communicate that message like, hey, Jupiter just sent you a husband, but it's going to be 2-3 months, 2-3 days. Jupiter doesn't work for the delivery service. It just issued the energy. You have to wait that transit time for the energy to show up. The transit time is often based off of the planets and the planets' cycles. The longest times that it takes for it to make its cycle, the quickest times that it takes for it to make an impact is going to be based on that planet and that planet's specific rotation, specific impacts and aspects as far as it shaking hands, hugging, and fighting with other planets. So if you really want to know a time frame, you would have to get really acquainted with your own natal chart and the influence of those planets. And then we would have to look and see how those planets are rotating. On a general side, I've seen that my messages usually manifest within 4 to 6 weeks. So if you want to really get in depth, today I would look back to see what messages came out 4 weeks ago. Those are probably the most relevant. If I do a reading today, you'll probably see this energy show up in another 4 weeks, even though I have had clients come back 6 months to a year with their testimonies. In case you haven't caught on, the very first thing that you need to do is get your natal chart. Get a professional reading with that natal chart, and from there, study those energies. Drink water, meditate, be in the quiet as much as possible because now you know what you're listening for. You now have a question on your heart, and now you'll receive more answers. I originally created this YouTube channel as a video journal for myself. I did my own readings, but I didn't record them. Then I started voice recording them, but I wanted to see the pictures. So then I started doing these video readings and it turned into a channel. So I'm so happy to share my gift with you all. But at this point, I am taking this gift to the next level and I want to turn it into a full resource for you to use when I'm here and when I'm not here. Because one thing for certain, life goes on. The planets will continue to turn and move, and I want as many possible people to wake up to who they are, to know themselves so they can honor themselves. So on the homepage, I've cleaned it up and made it very neat, very pretty, so that you can find all the information that you need to be able to look back to and to share forward. Also, if you're ever going through a time in your life where something resonates and you need to find it again, I hope that this new organization will help you to get to it as quick as possible. Feel free to save these videos or download these videos for your own personal use. Under the video tab, you will find the most recent videos in the order that they were issued. If you want to know what has been posted lately, the most recent, you'll go to that video link. And all of the videos will pop up in order of most recent. This talk about spirituality and tarot and growth and natal charts and planets is very, very, very over-consuming for a lot of people. So going forward, I will be uploading shorts with information, quick how to recognize energy. We'll go over tarot cards. We'll go over planetary aspects. We'll go over different oracle decks. We'll go over different meditations that you can do. It'll be a short, so it'll be 1 minute or less. And that way you can learn and grow at your own pace. But all how to and all information, learning information will be under the shorts tab. As of now, I've made a commitment to go live once a week on Mondays. But again, I'm living life with you all. I'm a real estate broker by trade. I own a business development company and a post-licensed school for realtors where I teach realtors how to ground their business and become their own business. So I don't know how much longer I can do lives. I'm not taking them away. However, I don't know if I'll be every Monday, but I will make announcements and those lives will be there just for us. If they're not weekly, they'll be bi-weekly or monthly or quarterly, but I will continue to leave those lives there where we can communicate and we can chat together. And those will be forecasts for the week or the time period ahead. So the week, the month ahead. They also will be timestamps, and that way you'll be able to surf the energy based on your specific natal chart. These will be my longest format videos. I've taken all of the energies that I've done and I've broken them down into playlists based on the zodiac energies. So we have Aries all the way through Pisces. We also have the collective universal messages, which I also have the moon messages inside of. I may make a different playlist tab for the moon messages. So if you see that pop up, the difference between the two will be universal concept readings, such as the theme of the lessons that's going on collectively, versus the moon cycles, which is most influential because the moon is the closest planet or planetary aspect to us. In addition to that, I will not keep energy in the playlist for more than 6 months. So every 6 months, when the video turns to the 7th month, I will take it away. So make sure that you're getting your notes, you have a journal, and you're keeping up with this information, because I want to keep you guys top of mind. I want to keep you current and I want to keep you focused. I'm not here for monetization. I'm not here for like, shares, or subscriptions. I really want you to learn. So I told you that most of my energies will enact within the next 4 weeks to 6 weeks. So 6 months worth of energy for a newcomer, for someone who's going through a breakthrough or a breakdown, is more than enough energy for you to get started, because the real work is when you get that natal chart and you start digging into it, and these energies will just be a complement to your own research. Lastly, I'll be using the community tab as a Twitter of sorts when it comes to downloads that I get on the go. Instead of me just spouting out to the universe, I'll keep it here on this platform where you guys understand me, where you are my tribe, and where you're here by choice because you understand what's going on. So there I'll do more downloads and maybe my dream interpretations and things like that. Please feel free to reach out to me and have a conversation. I absolutely love it. As of now, I am offering personals, and when I do offer personals, they'll always be on my personal website at kthawkins.com, where you can see exactly who I am as far as all of the business entities that I do have, as well as secured links for you to be able to make payment for those personals. In the future, I look to organize more retreat styles, especially with me having a real estate background. I know I could get my hands on some nice pieces of property for us to come together all across the country. But for now, I do offer the personals. They'll be in the link below, and they'll always go to my personal site. I don't offer personals anywhere else, nor will I, because this is where it's connected to me here on YouTube and on my personal site. I don't look to expand anywhere else. I want to keep it as intimate as possible. If you are someone who listens to tarot and you get lost sometime and you get a little confused, or you hear the energy in one reading but it was in that sign, it's because readers are picking up different aspects and they have their own different style. But you'll never be lost, you'll never be confused, because you now know yourself and you can honor yourself. If you're listening for an energy, you know to go to that reading, or if you're listening to all of the readings so you can get a collective snapshot, then you'll know exactly what's for you and what to leave on the table. Don't worry about remembering everything when you can just push play on this video again, okay? If you are listening to another reader and you keep hearing the message under a different energy, please do not antagonize that reader. They have their special gifts and they're using it in their special way. Also, be mindful again for readers who are falling from grace and they may be getting mixed messages, or they may not be able to articulate their gift at this time. It's your job to be able to pick and choose. You can always go and check and see if they're in a better space, or you can respect yourself enough to draw the boundary to say, I can't intake this information. Well, you know what I'm about to say. I love you all, and until we meet again, keep growing.